Okay, so you want to run team meetings, but you're not really sure what time of day is best. That's a really common question, and there's a lot of controversy over the best time of day to run a team meeting. So I kind of want to go over some time slots with you and give you the pros and the cons of each, and then I'll tell you what works best in most scenarios. Now, I run meetings almost every time of the day, but you could speak with 10 different business people and get 10 completely different answers because they're either just guessing, right? Or they're running meetings based on their personal schedule instead of what's best for the productivity of the team, which really is all that matters in most cases, right? The productivity of your team, except, of course, in the event of an emergency meeting where you're kind of not having a meeting to make the team more productive, but rather to put out an immediate fire. So let's start with morning meetings. Now, the benefit of a morning meeting is, it's right at the start of the day, so it gives people the tools and the tactics that they need to have a really wonderful day, or to get them focused and motivated for the rest of your day. The drawbacks, however, of a morning meeting is that some people come to the morning meeting tired, or some still have things on their mind from their drive into the office. Some people maybe didn't eat breakfast, so their blood sugar or their energy level was really low. And almost everybody has that tall cup of coffee in their hand, which is distracting to everybody. Now, not necessarily to you maybe as the owner or the moderator or the manager of the meeting, but to everybody else in the meeting, especially when somebody comes with a vanilla flavored coffee or a pumpkin spice kind of coffee or something else that smells or looks completely different than normal. Whether you think it's distracting or not, it is, and it's your responsibility to set up an environment that's free of distractions so that your team get the most out of your meeting. Now, one person gets distracted and it could slow your whole team meeting down and the effectiveness of the rest of the day. So you have to think about all those things, or you have to have somebody on your team who actually does think about that stuff. Personally, we have an assistant. I have my assistant. She has a checklist, and she's kind of the sergeant of arms in our meetings who sets the office up and makes sure that the meeting runs by a set of rules so that we're set up for success. So those are some notes on morning meetings. On the other hand, the benefits of an evening meeting is that it gives people something to work for throughout the day, right? So that they're looking forward to reporting on what they've accomplished earlier that day. Knowing that there's a nighttime meeting where they have to report their metrics or their numbers often leads to more productivity during the day, just so that they're not embarrassed by reporting poor numbers at nighttime. But the drawback of evening meetings are that most people want to leave the meeting to get back home to their family, or a lot of people are very hungry at the end of the day, and that kind of messes up with their mind. And any really great ideas that come up during that meeting, they can't be implemented until the very next day, so it kind of waters them down. And if somebody is not performing well, there's very little that you could do about it at the end of the day compared to if you found out earlier in the day and you could work them through that issue or that challenge. So what's better, morning or evening meetings? In most of my companies, we have meetings every single day, and although I'm not personally part of every single meeting, there's a direct correlation to company performance depending on the hours that we run our meetings that day. Now, if you want to see exactly how we lay out our meetings, we've put literally hundreds of thousands of dollars into learning how to run successful meetings and thousands of hours into testing and tracking meetings. And I made a video on that, specifically how we run meetings a while back, and in it I gave away a template on how we structure things. You should see a link somewhere popping up on the video right now on how you could get it. So you could do that, you just click on that link, or you could go to Google and just kind of Google Chris Guerrero meeting template, I think it is, and it'll come up. Now, when you're considering the best time of day for your team meetings, you have to ask yourself, what's the real reason you want to have a meeting? Because a lot of very small businesses believe that the main reason to have meetings with a person or with a team is to improve their numbers, right? The numbers of the company, and that's what they focus on. Sharing maybe where the numbers are for that particular person or that particular team and where they want the numbers to be, coming up. So if a small company, maybe they had 3 sales yesterday, they might have a meeting today. And during today's meeting, they might try to get the salespeople focused on having 4 or 5 sales today. But really smart leaders, we know that meetings are not just for numbers, right? Meetings are far more about communicating with their team and brainstorming with the team and encouraging the team. Because when the individual team members feel heard, they perform better. And that's always reflected in the company numbers. So when's the best time of day to have a meeting? Well, it kind of depends on what's best for the individuals on your team. And bear with me, because I'm going to give you the answer, but I kind of need to frame this, right? I need you to frame your thoughts around this whole concept properly so we make sure that the best decision for your company is what you're making for your times. Because some individuals perform better, some individuals on your team are going to perform better if you have morning meetings where they get motivated and they can communicate their plans for the day. But other team members are going to perform better when they know that they've got a team meeting at the end of the day and they're kind of scared and they want to make sure that they perform really good during the day so that they can brag at the end of the day. And I know it's a little bit confusing, but the way we handle this, that's worked time and time again for the past several years in our companies, is that we have morning meetings Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday, and we have an evening meeting on Wednesday nights. Now, our morning meetings are always fast, and everybody kind of comes knowing what to report and what to share for their plan for the day. And again, if you want to see exactly what we speak about in those meetings, just check out my video on that. And then our Wednesday night meetings, they got a completely different vibe. People share everything that's been working for them so far during the week so that all the other team members can hear what's been working in each one of the departments and still have time that week to test those tactics for their individual departments. And it's wonderful. Now, figuring out which time of day would be best in your company to have meetings is simply a process of looking at track records. Now, if you're a subscriber, you've probably, maybe heard me say this 1,200 times, but everybody in our company lives by this rule. We never judge people by what they think or what they say, only by what they do. So do not ask your team what they prefer, mornings or evening meetings. Don't ask them, because people will say that they want evening meetings almost always, because that gives them a whole day to prepare. And they think that that's really best for them in the company. However, the only way to know which kind of meetings help people to perform at their best is to test it. Now, my suggestion is that you test your meetings for at least 30 days. Even if you don't run daily meetings, you should at least run weekly meetings with your team, and then after 30 days, you'll be able to determine whether morning or evening meetings or alternating morning and evening meetings are best for your team productivity and your company bottom line. It will show up, and it'll show up clear as day. Now, comment below and let me know what time of day you think is best for your team meetings. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit the bell notifications so you're first to get access to each video as it comes out. And check out my next video right over here. See you there.